So I started Chicago Beyond about 3 years ago. I was a high school principal for 6 years on the far south side in a community called Roseland. And when I was there for those 6 years, I got to see the incredible potential and resilience in young people in my high school. But I also, on the flip side of that coin, saw so much potential just being wasted. And it wasn't that the young people didn't have that potential already within them and they couldn't access it. It was more about the ecosystem in which they existed, and that caused them to not be able to access their full potential. We began to reframe how we thought about engaging young people and eliminating some of the barriers that they had, and that then got us different results. And so when I started Chicago Beyond, I started with that framework of how do we create a better ecosystem here in Chicago to eliminate some of those inequities.
So while Chicago Beyond does a lot of things, one of the main things we do is we invest in impactful nonprofit organizations. And not only do we do dollars, we have people who work with them to scale what their impact is.
Honored to lead the team that works in service of our partners who work in service of our youth. And we are aptly named the Growth Team because our entire mandate is to help to grow the impact of the organizations in which we invest. And so we do that in so many different ways, on so many different types of projects. But one way to think about it is really helping to break down the barriers that organizations have, both real and perceived, that prevent them from growing. So it can be everything from helping them to better tell their story, to helping them build a sustainable funding infrastructure, to helping them with an effective organizational design and leadership plan.
I have the pleasure of working with our partner organizations, our internal team, people in the Chicago community and beyond on testing, questioning, and changing what we know and what we assume so that we can do and act differently.
So our innovation team has 3 key responsibilities which are continually evolving and expanding. One, our role is to identify innovative ideas, approaches, leaders for Chicago Beyond to invest in. 2, we work directly with youth and communities to design, prototype, and launch innovative social impact projects. And our team also functions as a hybrid accelerator where we work directly with early stage maturing organizations in short-term projects to accelerate their impact.
Our growth team work helps in a lot of ways. The first thing is it helps our partners with the issues that they're facing. Sometimes when you're in the weeds doing the actual work, working with participants, you don't have time or the space always to have these high-level thinking strategy conversations. So it's a lot of times our meetings are good spaces for them to vent, reflect, and plan for the future and re-energize themselves.
The goal of the learning team is to generate knowledge justice for and with our young people. That means using all the tools of art and events and academic research to bring the wisdom of community members and community partners to the fore. And it means trying to shake up some of the systems we use to generate knowledge in the first place and to hold up what we believe to be true. In my spiritual tradition, knowledge is satyam, it's truth. It's not owned, it's not controlled, and it's not a weapon. This work is about trying to get closer to that truth. And I believe that is so bound up in our liberation.
We want our partners to grow their impact by any means necessary. Kidding, but really we just want them to become stronger organizations so that they're better equipped to serve more youth and serve them better.
I truly believe in the potential of young people. I've been working with youth and communities for the past 10 years. And being proximate to the work, being proximate to youth in their neighborhoods, I feel like we're missing out on a great opportunity when we don't invest in young people and their futures.
I think Chicago Beyond exists.
Chicago Beyond exists.
Chicago Beyond exists.
Chicago Beyond exists to extend justice for young people here in Chicago.
Because the world of philanthropy needed to be shaken up a bit.
Because there's been generations and decades of deep-seated issues and problems that have manifested in the city of Chicago and aren't necessarily on the pathway to get better.
For and with young people. Young people have tremendous potential, and we have the opportunity to bring all the assets, not just one thing. Philanthropy, art, storytelling, tools and research, all together to try to change the conversation.
If Chicago Beyond executes on its mission, like, everybody has a chance to live to their fullest potential. And so that's why I do my work, and that's why we do our work, and that is our goal.